So I noticed on Skype that you put in something there from Alatra.
From Alatra.
Yeah,
Uh,
Alatra Unites. They got a new TV channel or something. Or
oh, yes, I sent you the link. Sure,
mm.
that is a few days ago. Yeah, I forgot. Um, yeah, they've redone their website, and you can now join for free. Okay, but you actually join to say that this is what Alatra unites. They've got their own logo, what they stand for now, and they want to gather people who actually do want to be actively engaged in helping change the world. Okay, they don't quite say it like that, but that's the essence of it. And so I thought, okay, I really. I don't think the world will ever go back to the old normal. Okay,
No.
in so many ways, in certain ways, in business ways, that probably will. But I think there are other ways that they just not. We're not going to go back to normal, and so
Mm.
things are going to be in a process of change where nobody knows quite where it's changing to. Um,
Mm.
and when you look at the destructive riots in America, and the black forces behind them, or the black hats behind them, one's got to think, where's this leading to? Already Perth has had their own, now, yesterday and the day, I don't know about today, in sympathy. They've had their own marches, peaceful marches, in sympathy of American blacks. Okay. And of course Australia does have this Aboriginal thing where the kids came home and said, we're having a sorry day today,
Mm.
or tomorrow or something. Never
Mm.
heard of that in my life, but I had to Google it for somebody to explain it to me. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
Um, so I think this is all part of the change that's going to happen now.
I think you're right. There's some interesting dynamics, isn't there? Because I was watching some video footage there, might have been on Facebook or somewhere, where there was a bunch of people that were just sort of vandalizing and demolishing like a Mercedes-Benz dealership. I think it might have been like in Philadelphia or somewhere like that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and you just sort of say to yourself, well, how's that going to resolve racism? Like it's clearly it's not. I mean, I think maybe they're just hired guns or gullible people who sort of believe that sort of action is going to lead to something positive. I mean,
I think you're right in the first aspect. Okay,
mm,
Trump has already now the people who are coming in with guns and bricks and ammunition and moving from state to state is an organization. So he's now banned them as a terrorist organization. So they've identified who it is, and they're not trying to hide their tracks. Okay, they're coming in and they're taking advantage of the peaceful demonstrations. And I think none of us have any problems with the grounds of the peaceful demonstrations. Okay?
no, no,
And I think that's part of the change that's coming, and it can come peacefully. But these aggressive, hostile group that they don't actually have a membership. People just join. Okay,
yeah,
and and so they are moving at night time, not only through the streets, smashing windows and things, but they're also going from state to state, and they're offloading bricks in certain places where there's likely to be a riot. Okay, so that needs to be stopped. But the point is, when you stop that with aggression, then the police are perceived to be highly inappropriately defending the country. Okay, so it's a no-win for the police at all, and so how it moves forward, I don't know. I can only imagine Trump, rather saying, "Okay, guys, let's have some sort of open forum or internet forum, or let's put forward some leaders. Let's talk. Let's just discuss." Because I'm sure he wouldn't be opposed to any sort of changes other than giving citizenship to illegal immigrants. Okay, that's one of the things, and he won't do that, and I wouldn't do that. I mean, you've got to go through the process. We've got to know where your nation comes from and what it stands for, from a historical background or upbringing. But yeah, I agree with you. There is change coming, and I just hope in Australia it's still going to be peaceful.
That's right, but I think, I don't know about you, but my sense of it is just watching the media in the last week, there seems to be something very active going on behind the scenes. Like even with Musk's, trip up into the International Space Station, there seemed to be like a huge sigh of relief around that, as if like there was people actively working against it, so...
is that how you read it? I was also wondering why, it's been so accurate and everything, and even NASA's, I know it's not NASA, but even, the space station, the Russians have been doing it so easily. But I guess it's the first time for SpaceX. Yeah, there is something behind the scenes. I mean, we've known that, Don, we've spoken about this now for a couple of months. And we know who's behind the scenes, but we're not sure who's getting the upper hand.
No, well, that's right. It seems that it sort of has little bursts of activity here and there, and then the next thing it's all quiet again for a while, and then all of a sudden, it breaks out again, like solar flares almost, aren't they? So
yeah, that's